Welcome back to the BWI Daily. You guys suggested it. We took your suggestions and we ran with it. Last week, T. Frank had a couple of interviews, Dakari Nelson, Mason Robinson. Today, we're going to bring you Andrew Rappleyea, the stud tight end from Massachusetts, on the latest edition of the BWI Daily.
How you guys doing?
Andrew, welcome to the show. Always a pleasure to have future Nittany Lions in the house. How's everything going? You're going to sign in a couple days.
Good. Appreciate you guys having me. Excited to put the pen to the paper a couple days. So,
yeah, it should be a culmination of a long journey. Of course, your journey had a few twists along the way, but you are getting a chance to sort of live the dream, sign those scholarship papers. I know this is something that every high school player, whether they think they can do it or not, ends up dreaming this dream of playing major college football. And you found your way to Penn State. How does it feel to put this entire process behind you and get on with the next step?
I'm just excited. I mean, ever since I committed in April, I've just been looking forward to the day where I could just, make it official, and, it's all going to be history after that. And I'm just going to be working my tail off like every day. Wednesday's going to be a regular day, but I'm just excited. I'm ready to get there. I'm ready to get to work.
Who are you most excited for on Wednesday? Obviously you feel good about yourself, but family, friends, coaches, and things like that. I mean, who do you think this means the most to, aside from maybe your parents that are not having to spend the tuition check for you?
I mean, some of my coaches, I think a lot of people who were in my inner circle when I was back home in New York really pushed for me and, helped me out and made calls to get me to Milton and whatnot, and, really get me the exposure I needed. So I think like my head coach, Brian Walsh for Our Lady of Lourdes High School, and Coach Kevin McDonald, can be really excited about making it official, just because I feel I worked really hard, and I think they know I worked really hard. I still say a place that really, had no looks, came middle of nowhere. So I'm just really excited about it.
Yeah. How did that journey work out? Because I think a lot of people see you and see you're at Milton and just assume that that's where you've been or that's where you popped up. You're from New York. But how did that journey come about? Where did you find yourself as a typical senior in high school, trying to find your way to the next level? How did everything come along, and how did you land at Milton?
I mean, it was all kind of just a wild process. Just when I committed to want to play football, in the sense of like, I decided like, hey, this is what I want to do. Mom, dad, like, I really want to go big in this. That decision was kind of made, I would say, like end of my true sophomore year, sophomore year, early junior year. I kind of just made that decision. I was like 6'3", like 190 pounds. So I really didn't think I would be committing to Penn State. And I just really said, I was like, I'm just going to work my ass off. This is what I want to do. Saw my brother do it. He went to Wake Forest. And I was just like, I mean, I know that's what I want for myself. So I worked my ass off. And COVID happened. I got 3 games. I got some looks. But with 2020, the reality was, being in 22, a lot of those kids were getting screwed with COVID. And I just, after I had the 3-game season, my repeat junior year, or my first junior year, I decided to go to Milton, and I had enough film that kind of gave me a little exposure. I started to get a couple offers, and then I played at Milton, and like a lot of people were saying when I left Lourdes, like there was a lot of support, but there was also the people who were just like, yeah, like he's going to, do his thing. But like, I don't think really anybody thought I was going to end up going to somewhere like Penn State. And I got to Milton, just kept my head down, worked hard. I was skin and bone, like 215. I mean, and then I kept working up to this year, and now I'm like 235 pounds. So, I mean, I've just been working really. It was all just having the right resources, keeping people in my corner. And I mean, just working hard. So
Okay.
Hell of a journey, but I mean, I'm just excited how it's all turned out.
To put it into context, you said you got a couple schools looking at you. What's the difference in levels that we're talking here? Because obviously it wasn't Penn State, it wasn't Michigan, Boston College, those things. Well, what kind of who were you hearing from? We're not trying to slight any lower levels of football, because there's good players that play at that level. But what were you looking at that point?
I can actually say, like, I went to this New York State Combine. when when COVID was happening. I went to go run, like get times and whatnot. I was like, I remember what I weighed. I was 6'4", 206 pounds. And I didn't know what I was going to, like the coaches that were talking to me then, like Stony Brook, Bryant, Monmouth, schools like that. And I just like, the reality was I didn't know where I stood among like tight ends and like kids in my class, because I just was just playing football and like having fun. Like I didn't really know at the time, like that's what I wanted to do. And the wake up call was kind of when Wake Forest offered me. I was on a Zoom call, like not expecting it, and like they were recruiting me because of my brother, and they offered me, and I was like really like blown away. I was like shocked, and then that was when I was like, oh my god, like this is like that's what woke me up. I was like, that's how coaches feel about me, I guess you could say. Like I'm a Power 5 player, I guess you could say, and I just started working my tail off from there. Like I remember my junior COVID year came around. I was 212 pounds for that season, but it was like a different weight. Like I was moving. I was really developing as an athlete and as a tight end. Like I was becoming a blocker and whatnot. I just started to get exposure from bigger schools, and I kind of really appreciated that and was grateful for it. But like I just really didn't know where I stood, being from a football area where no one had gone big. Like that was the reality of it.
Understand. I mean, it sounds like your confidence just completely flipped, you know, just playing at Lords, obviously a different setup than playing at even Milton, which, you know, New England football is not, I mean, it's not the big schools down south and things like that, but still it's a different level. So it sounds like your confidence just took a rocket ship there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was going from a pretty solid player, and then that first offer gave me so much confidence and in my own game and in like myself as a player. And now, like, I mean, every time I step on the field, there's no doubt in my mind that I'm like the best player on that field. So and that's just come with like hours and hours of sweating my ass off, working every day. And like, I love like lifting, the grind. I embrace it. I love it. It's my favorite part of my day. When I'm in class, I'm not gonna lie to you, I can't even wait for that day to be over to get to the weight room. And it's just like, I've made connections with like the workouts and all of that, and I like embrace it and I love it. And like that's why I just feel like I'm gonna be very successful at Penn State, because I know that the pain the workouts are gonna bring, the relationships I'm gonna build doing it and whatnot. I feel like I'm gonna do really well with it.
The BWI Daily Edition is brought to you by Collegiate Athletic Travel. For those who haven't made their Rose Bowl plans, here's a deal that will get you to LA the easy way, and at a price you won't find anywhere. For just $8.95, you'll fly round-trip nonstop via Southwest Airlines charter flight from Harrisburg into the Hollywood Burbank Airport, LA's easy in, easy out airport. Depart Harrisburg on December 30th and return January 3rd. Book now with only a few seats remaining at this price. This is brought to you by Penn State's longtime travel experts, Collegiate Athletic Travel. For complete details and to book your reservation, visit athletictravel.com.
Stepping away from the recruitment, what is a day like for you? I mean, what's on the docket for you when you're talking workout? Because this is one level of workout. On the other hand, you got Chuck Losey waiting for you in a couple of months here at Penn State. What is the outlook for you on a day-to-day basis, and then what are you looking forward to from that aspect when you get to Penn State?
So I'm on a 4-day lifting program: Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Wednesday I go to the field, like an indoor field, and I do a different workout with this program, North Star Sports Performance, back at my home. So that's what I'm doing Wednesday. And then outside of that, on Saturdays, I do like a recovery day with them. And the program I'm doing is from Athletic Evolution, who Pat Freiermuth's gym. That's where he goes when he's home. Dana Barry's the one who set it up for me. So I follow that program. And it really helped me over the summer. When I started, I was on my OV, I weighed 213 pounds. And when I went on my OV or my visit this past weekend, I was 234.7. And that has helped me, like, weightlifting. I mean, the weightlifting, just the program, the discipline of it, following it, staying consistent with it, and just like I said, embracing it. And like, I love doing it, and like seeing my numbers go up on a weekly basis only makes me work harder. So that has just helped me. Like, I mean, when I'm seeing my results on the field, like I'm moving so much better. You know, I might be heavier, but I'm running a 4.5 all day, like a low 4.5, and I know I am.
Nice.
But yeah, it's just been I've the weight room and all of it has I've embraced it, and it's helped me on the field in so many ways: blocking, route running, and then especially my my coach, Coach Chris Easter, with Kingdom Way Training in out of New York. He's my footwork coach. He's helped me. Like he doesn't train me like a tight end. That's the reality of it. He trains me to be a receiver, and it's helped me like I'm move like one. And as for my offense and school, they just kind of saw me develop a little bit better or become more developed, put weight on, was moving a lot better in the off season, and started utilizing me more in the offense. So
we're watching some highlights here. If you're following along on the YouTube channel, and you're not playing tight end, you're playing all over the place. You're playing running back essentially. I mean, you're doing everything except throwing the ball. And I don't know if you probably did that too. How do you describe yourself as a tight end? How do you see yourself? Traditional Y, traditional F. Where do you fit into the mix? And do you want to be labeled as something like that?
So for a while, I mean, I wasn't even aware there were H's and Y's till like about 2 years ago, like when I really started paying close attention to the offenses and whatnot. So I always thought I was a big inline guy when I was at Lord's, especially because I was bigger than everybody. Even at 210 pounds, I was 6'4", but I was bigger than everybody. But at Milton, they started utilizing me more, like movement in the backfield or the backfield. A lot of motioning, a lot of like jet sweeps. Actually, not even a lot. I got 4 or 5 touches for like, I don't even know, a lot of yards, a couple touchdowns. But it was really like, it was more of a traditional offense this year, like true what I'm going to play next year, I think. And I've kind of like talking with Coach Howe and whatnot. Like Joey is more like, I know Joey's going to be a Y. He could probably he'll play some H too, but like Jerry, he's a Y. I think he's a Y at least. Theo Y, Tyler Y, Brenton's an H, and I just think like I've really started to love the H position, even though I haven't gotten there yet, just because like it fits my like what I like to do. I feel like I'm the best, one of the best route runners in the country, and I feel bringing that in is going to help me a lot. And like kick out blocking and whatnot, I feel I can punch above my weight, and obviously I'm going to be about 242, I think, playing weight next year, because I'll get there about 238. I know. And just the personnel, the package that you use with the H back is really fitting for me. Kicking out kids, leading through holes, and just being able to run the whole deal, you know, as a receiver. I feel I can really be successful in that. So
high school tight end prospects usually don't block. I mean, this is something you're the best player on your team. Joey's the best player on his team. Jerry was the best player on his team. But you want to move the football, so you put that guy out there as a pseudo receiver. How difficult do you think that transition will be when they ask you to actually block, you know, big adult college men, as compared to what you've had to deal with in high school?
I'm definitely ready for the coaching points that Coach Howe's going to provide to me, in the sense of, I mean, I'm going to get there in the weight and frame I need to be. I know I will. Like, I'm going to be working really hard for that in the off season. But as for transitioning to like blocking up like much bigger guys, I think it's going to come with more just like simple technique points, like getting my head on the right shoulder. But like, I think I'm going to be pretty ready to go when I get there, in the sense of like, obviously I'm going to be a freshman. There's going to be plenty of times where I get put on my ass. Like, I know that, but I'm going to bring it every play. And like leading through holes and whatnot, I think it's just going to come down to simple technique points about blocking. But I'm pretty confident about my blocking ability, especially when I get there.
I think you should. I mean, editorializing, nobody has blocked like this as a tight end prospect since Pat came through, and that's like, it's rare to see on tape guys just moving people from the tight end position. So that's interesting.